In today's news, the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force to unveil community policing-oriented strategy in January 2025. Premier assures efforts to address gun-related incidents. Police warn against leaving keys in unlocked vehicles as crimes increase. Premier updates on 60-foot-point action plan to strengthen financial safeguards. Over 21 environmental and technical officers complete training. CIBC Caribbean donates to Family Support Network. Still unclear on whether COP position will be filled by VANTERPOOL. Governor BRYAN acknowledges operations amid community concerns. We have the details of this and so much more, both on the local and regional scene. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Just give me my service. Yeah. Just give me my service. Just give me my service.
Make the switch to CCT and get connected today. Unlimited talk, text, and data. Visit any CCT store or call us at 444-4444. CCT, life unlimited.
That's just not cricket.
No sweat, you with CG. Remember my street dance battle against Seamus O'Leapsy? I went on to win the title of Miss Irish-ish, set to perform at nursing homes around the world. Then this happened. Seamus on you, Seamus. Anyway, I was covered. Let's bounce.
Comprehensive motor cover for damage and more. CG Insurance. Good like that.
Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of 284 News. It is Tuesday, January 28th, 2025. I'm Ron Grant, bringing you the very latest out of Tortola in the Virgin Islands. A happy Tuesday is wished to each and every one of you. Thank you all so much for joining us. The Royal Virgin Islands Police Force is set to unveil a new community policing-oriented strategy in January 2025, following the dismantling of its previous initiative. This update emerged during the recent Standing Finance Committee deliberations, where it was revealed that the once highly regarded program aimed at fostering trust between the police and residents had been stalled. According to the Acting Commissioner of Police, Jacqueline Vanterpool, the new approach will identify all officers as community policing officers within their respective districts. While details of the new strategy were not disclosed, the vision and objectives have already been established, with the relaunch expected to revitalize the relationship between the law enforcement and the wider public. Deputy Speaker of the House of Assembly, the Honorable Stacey Mathar, and 9th District Representative, the Honorable Vincent O. Wheatley, both inquired about the state of the initiative during the deliberations. Honorable Wheatley questioned why the former unit, described as highly active and effective, had been dismantled. In response, the Acting Commissioner confirmed that the unit had been temporarily dissolved until the January 2025 rollout. While the specific reasons behind its dismantling were not stated, resource constraints are widely considered to be a contributing factor. The community policing program had been lauded as a crucial tool in bridging the gap between law enforcement and the public, particularly in building trust and improving communication. Residents have expressed a sense of disconnect from the police in recent years, making the initiative's anticipated return highly significant. With the recent rise in gun-related crimes in the British Virgin Islands, questions have surfaced about the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force's ability to handle the escalating situation and whether external assistance from the United Kingdom may be necessary. During a recent press conference, Premier and Minister of Finance Dr. The Honourable Natalia D. Wheatley acknowledged the seriousness of the crime wave and highlighted the support provided by the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, as well as His Excellency the Governor Daniel Pruce.
The governor and the FCDO have been very generous in being able to offer resources to be able to confront the challenge that we're facing. We do have a upsurge in some areas of crime. Last year we had 4 murders, which is down about maybe 2 or 3 persons from the previous years. Every life loss is a life too much. So we want to bring murders down to 0. But we have some upsurgence in some areas of crime. And the police has a strategy to be able to deal with those. They've identified some of the groups which are responsible for those areas of crime. The governor, I don't want to preempt him, but he's also going to be providing resources from the United Kingdom to be able to support the work of the Virgin Islands, which we appreciate.
When asked whether the assistance included specialists in gun crime, Premier Wheatley stated that he was uncertain about the specific resources, but assured the public that a thorough analysis had been conducted to determine the best approach to addressing the current challenges.
I'm not sure of the specific specialists, but of course, the governor and his national security advisors have analyzed some of the areas of where there's needed support in the police force, and they've gotten some resources to deal with that. I should say to you as well, we also have the law enforcement review coming out that identifies specific areas that we need to strengthen. So all of that's a part of the process to try to see how we can address some of the deficiencies and challenges we face.
Dr. Wheatley also expressed his condolences to the family of Quentin Noel, the territory's first murder victim of 2025. Noel, a 20-year-old resident of Purcell Estate, was fatally shot near his home during the early hours of January 15th. Addressing the broader crime issue, the Premier assured residents and the wider public that legislators and law enforcement officials are working diligently, he said, to combat crime and implement effective strategies to keep the territory safe.
I want to offer condolences to the family of the young man that lost his life, the first murder that we had in 2025. Not a good way to start the year. And of course, there have been other incidents of gunfire in certain areas. And I met with the National Security Council yesterday, as I do every week, received updates from the acting police commissioner. And of course, we continue to strategize on ways in which we can confront this challenge in the community of crime. And that includes strengthening our legislation, as we recently did in the House of Assembly with the Police Amendment Act and also the Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Bill. And we will continue to strengthen legislation along with many other strategies to confront the challenge of crime.
Premier Wheatley further emphasized the critical role the community plays in tackling crime, urging residents to speak up if they have regarding criminal information of activities. The Royal Virgin Islands Police Force has launched a new security campaign following a surge in vehicle thefts across the territory. With many incidents linked to cars being left unlocked with keys inside, the Park It, Lock It, and Forget It initiative aims to combat what authorities describe as an alarming trend in vehicle theft, particularly targeting rental cars left unsecured during return procedures. They said, and I quote, "This practice not only increases the risk of theft, but also creates a general environment that encourages opportunistic crimes," said police release. The Royal Virgin Islands Police Force also identified rental companies' practice of instructing customers to leave keys in unsecured locations as a significant security concern. The police campaign outlines specific security measures for both private motorists and rental companies. Recommendations include ensuring vehicles are always locked, removing valuables from plain sight, and parking in well-lit areas. For rental companies, authorities advise implementing secure key drop-off systems and avoid practices that leave vehicles vulnerable during the return process. The police are urging anyone with information about vehicle thefts within the territory to contact the Crime Stoppers Unit at 800-8477 or the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force Intelligence Unit at 368-9339. Overseas callers can reach Crime Stoppers at 800-8477. Now, law enforcement officials are emphasizing that the success of this initiative depends on cooperation for both motorists and the rental companies in implementing and maintaining proper security measures. Up next, viewers, we have much more on the local scene. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Pop the Balloon or Find the Connection. Let's meet our first contender, ladies. Okay, Joey, so do you have any toxic traits?
I'm very restrictive. I don't give more time. What you get is what you get. I don't like to give unlimited time. That's it.
Okay, can you tell us why you popped your balloon?
That's a little too restricted for me.
Thank you for coming. Okay, ladies, so let's meet our second contender.
Sorry, excuse me. Why did you pop a balloon? I could give you minutes, data, unlimited call, overseas call, fiber. What else you need?
My friend used to date you. You are scam. She used to be for everything and more. Nothing to offer.
Okay, ladies, let's welcome our last contender. You look nice. Can you tell us your name?
Thank you. My name is Christian Charles Thomas. They call me C Sweetie.
What do you have to offer these ladies?
Well, security, trust, unlimited time, and a pretty fast.
Okay, so do you have any deal breakers?
Nah, but here's my number. 444-4444. Y tú, vida ilimitada.
Okay, guys, so no pop balloons.
For a fast, reliable, and secure connection for your personal or business life, call us at 444-4444 or visit any of our CCT stores and we'll get you connected with the perfect match for you.
Welcome back, viewers, and thank you so much for sticking with us. Moving right along in the British Virgin Islands, Premier Dr. the Honourable Natalia D. Wheatley recently provided an update on the territory's progress with implementing reforms to combat money laundering and terrorist financing. Now, the territory is working to address 64 specific recommendations outlined in a February 2024 mutual evaluation report conducted on behalf of the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force. This evaluation has prompted the creation of a national action plan, which Wheatley says demonstrates the territory's commitment to meeting international financial standards. He offered remarks on the progress made so far.
We are encouraged by the progress made so far in implementing the National Action Plan. Thanks to the dedication of government agencies, law enforcement, competent authorities, and private sector partners, their collaboration has been instrumental in driving meaningful change and addressing the findings of the mutual evaluation.
The territory published extensive guidance for the financial services sector throughout 2024, with additional measures planned for 2025. The National Anti-Money Laundering and Countering the Financing of Terrorism Coordinating Council is overseeing the implementation of these reforms.
However, as we approach the end of the post-observation period, we acknowledge that sustained effort will be critical to achieving our objective of full implementation of the National Action Plan. The National Anti-Money Laundering and Countering the Financing of Terrorism Coordinating Council, alongside the Honorable Attorney General, the National Coordinator, and the National Coordination Unit, continue to diligently monitor progress against the National Action Plan. Significant legislative reforms and the publication of extensive guidance to the financial services sector were prioritized in 2024, with further reforms remaining a key focus in 2025. These measures are vital components of our ongoing efforts to strengthen compliance and governance.
Now, viewers, as part of this initiative, the government has launched a commitment and collaboration outreach series in partnership with local compliance officers and registered agents. The next session is scheduled for February 13th, 2025. The territory is also preparing to launch a public awareness campaign called Business Done Right.
As part of our ongoing initiatives, the government has led the Commitment and Collaboration Outreach Series in partnership with the BVI Association of Compliance Officers, the BVI Association of Registered Agents, and other key law enforcement and supervisory bodies. These sessions focus on cross-cutting themes impacting supervised entities in the Virgin Islands. The next session in this series is scheduled for the 13th February 2025. In addition, we are preparing to launch a public awareness campaign under the theme Business Done Right, with right representing responsibility, integrity, global honesty, and transparency. This campaign is an important step in engaging and educating the public fostering a collective effort across all demographics to combat financial crime in the Virgin Islands.
Premier Whitley stressed that despite the encouraging progress, there is still much work to be done.
While much has been accomplished, there is still more to do. We remain steadfast in our resolve to execute the roadmap set out in the National Action Plan, and will continue to provide updates on our progress as we work to fully remediate the recommendations from the mutual evaluation and further strengthen the Virgin Islands AML CFT CPF framework.
More than 21 environmental and technical officers have completed training in water quality monitoring, data analysis, and storage. The training session was organized by the Ministry of Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change in collaboration with the H. Lavistot Community College, Center Resource Management and Environmental Studies, and Spatial Innovation Limited. The project, coordinated in the ministry, Ms. Atoya George, said one of the primary objectives of the Reliance Sustainable Energy and Marine Biodiversity Project is to ensure capacity building among key individuals, equipping them with the knowledge and technical skills required to collect, analyze, interpret, report, and manage water quality data. The Senior Program Manager, Ms. Andrea Flotidas, said the project supports the successful collaboration between the government of the Virgin Islands and other key entities to further continue to train officers in water quality. The officers attached to the ministry, the HLSCC, and the Environmental Health Division, as well as Water and Sewage Department, Agriculture, Fisheries, National Parks Trust, and Town and Country Planning, completed 9 ArcGIS courses spanning from November 2023 through October 2024. The courses including enhancing their technical skills in geographical data collection and analysis in ArcGIS software, in addition to advanced enterprise-level training to enhance GIS warehousing skills, as well as much more. Officers also gained fundamental skills from a 5-day workshop conducted on September 23rd to the 27th last year that strengthened their capabilities to assess, collect, test, analyze, interpret, and warehouse water quality data and enhance their laboratory maintenance knowledge. The Family Support Network received a timely donation of essential pantry supplies from CIBC Caribbean, demonstrating the bank's ongoing commitment to supporting the Virgin Islands community. On January 21st, CIBC Caribbean representative Mr. Nelson Ramirez, Relationship Manager, Ms. Rochelle Smith, Compliance Manager, and Ms. Melissa Graham, Business Banking Manager, presented several cases of sardines, tuna, and soda crackers to FSN Pantry Coordinator Ms. Sandra Mills at the bank. Also joined in the collaboration. Now, this contribution follows a staff-wide initiative at CIBC Caribbean, where employees agreed to donate their 2024 hurricane provisions to support the Family Support Network, Pantry's efforts to assist families in need. Now, Ms. Mills of the Family Support Network expressed immense gratitude for the donation, emphasizing its importance in replenishing protein-rich staples, which are vital to meeting the dietary needs of those the pantry serves. She said, and I quote, "These supplies are essential in helping us provide for families facing difficult circumstances." Now, the FSN, a nonprofit organization, provides much more than pantry supplies. It serves as a lifeline for individuals and families affected by domestic violence, offering counseling, essential resources, and long-term solutions such as work skills training and resume writing. Interim Director of FSN, Ms. Prudence Charles, lauded CIBC Caribbean for its consistent support over the years. Their generosity, she said, through monetary contributions, gift baskets, and pantry supplies has significantly impacted our ability to serve the community. She continued by saying, "We value their continued partnership." CIBC's donation is part of its broader commitment to fostering resilience and well-being across the Virgin Islands. The FSN serves clients in Tortola, Virgin Gorda, Jost Van Dyke, and Anegada, providing critical services to those in need. Up next, viewers, we have much more on the local scene as well as our neighboring U.S. Virgin Islands. Some claim that the age of a true gentleman is far behind us, but we disagree. He may appear in different guises today, but the values and ideals that make him a gent still stand. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman by yours truly, Ron Grant, presents Season 7. Introducing Travi Rose, Creative Director. Alex Lake, Businessman. Sean Black, Cinematographer. Dakari Wheatley Adams, Content Creator. Donandre Millwood, Educator and Musician. Hashim Dream, Entertainer. James Todman Sr., Contractor. Dr. Albert Tompkins, Psychotherapist. Walter Barrett, Author. Rakim Todman, Producer and Engineer. Kamal Lutzum, Photographer. Roosevelt Smith III, Sales Manager and Hospitality Professional. Leland Abraham, IT Technician and Cybersecurity Analyst. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman Season 7, coming January 29th at 8 p.m. exclusively on 284 Media. Get ready to reason, reflect, and redefine yourself through the stories of real-life heroes. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman Season 7, Raising a Generation of Greatness. Voted Top 35 Gentleman Podcast Worldwide by FeedSpot and BI Icon Award winner. Welcome back, everyone, and thank you all for sticking with us. On Monday, January 27, 2024, during an episode of the radio talk show program Talking Points, His Excellency Governor Daniel Pruce, who was a featured guest on the program, highlighted his priority areas for 2025.
So that also suggested to me that what we actually needed in the new commissioner would be someone who, of course, had extensive experience in policing, who had credibility to lead an important and complex organisation such as the RVIPF. Mm-hmm. But it would also need to be someone who could demonstrate that they had led transformational change in a complex organisation operating in a very challenging environment. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't really what we'd asked for when we started the recruitment competition. Right. So, having reflected on this very carefully and taken the advice of NSC and others, it felt to me that the best thing to do in the interests of the Virgin Islands, and also the best thing to do to be fair to those who'd already applied for the job, was to stop that recruitment process and relaunch it once we've seen the second volume of the Law Enforcement Review, because that would enable us to redefine the person's specification, the person's specification in full knowledge of the challenges that lie ahead. Mm. I was worried that we would end up with, completing a recruitment process which would provide us with a candidate who fulfilled the requirements of that original advert, but actually those requirements were no longer what we needed.
Governor Pruce was also questioned on whether any of the local acting commissioners are being considered for the appointment of police commissioner. In his response, he praised Acting Police Commissioner Jacqueline Vanterpool for the great job she has been doing, but did not definitively provide an answer to the question.
Meanwhile, of course, we have Acting Commissioner Vanterpool in post, with whom I'm working very closely, who I think is doing a fantastic job. Mm-hmm. And I have every confidence that she will manage and lead the police through this transitional period very successfully. Mm-hmm. But in any big organisation, when you have change at the top, it has an impact on the organisation. So that's an additional challenge. Mm-hmm. And then thirdly, of course, out there in the world around us, mm-hmm. the criminal environment is becoming more complex. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We saw, I think, when the acting commissioner had a press conference just 10 days ago, she indicated that, you look at crime stats for last year, overall crime has gone up by 12%, mm-hmm. which, is a cause of concern. You have criminality which is operating in different ways with greater agility. Mm-hmm. We've seen the coverage and indeed the police's own information about a number of gangs, mm-hmm. particularly the Money Boys gang operating within the territory. Mm-hmm. So for me, this year is critical because you've got a combination of different challenges, all of them bearing down on the police, and obviously, given my constitutional responsibilities for security, that's got to be at the very top.
Governor Pruce said while the recruitment process for a new COP began last year of 2024, it had to be stopped, and while unable to say if VANTERPOOL will be considered for the job permanently upon resuming recruitment for COP, Governor Pruce said the successful candidate would be someone with not only extensive policing experience and credibility to lead an important and complex organization such as the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force, but also possess the ability to demonstrate that they have led transformational change in a complex organization operating in a very challenging environment.
We came to a point last year where even though we had launched the recruitment competition for a new police commissioner, so as you know, previous Commissioner Collins finished in the role and started his retirement in November of last year. Even though we had launched a process for his replacement, it became apparent as we went through the second half of the year that the recommendations from the first volume of the Law Enforcement Review posed already some, pretty fundamental challenges of change and reform within the police force and in other agencies as well. And that already, I think, gave us pause to reflect as to whether the way that we had defined the role prior to knowing that was still going to give us the right fit for the job, the right kind of person that we needed. Then it also started to become clear that the second volume of the review, which I don't take delivery of until I think sometime next month, probably the end of February. It's something that is independent of me, compiled by His Majesty's Inspectorate of Constabulary Fire and Rescue Services. But it was already becoming clear amongst those who were compiling the report that the scope and depth of the recommendations in that report were going to be even farther reaching than what we'd had in Volume 1.
The position of top cop became vacant following the scandalous retirement of the end of contract for former COP and United Kingdom national Mark Collins on November 30th, 2024. The search for a new cop, according to the governor, was halted following the receipt of the first volume of Law Enforcement Review by His Majesty's Inspectorate of Constabulary, Fire and Rescue Services. Pruce stated that based on the recommendations in the review and the pending second volume of Law Enforcement Review, the search for a new cop was postponed. Over in the United States Virgin Islands, Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents have increased their presence at key maritime entry points in the United States Virgin Islands, conducting document checks and detaining individuals, though local authorities say they received no advance notice of the operation. The enhanced enforcement follows President Donald Trump's recent executive order titled Protecting the American People Against Invasion. Governor Albert BRYAN Jr. confirmed heightened federal activity at both the Red Hook Ferry Terminal on St. Thomas and the dock facilities on St. John to several local press agencies, emphasizing that the federal agents and agencies are not obligated to inform territorial officials before conducting such operations. The enforcement action sparked concerns across social media platforms Sunday, with unconfirmed reports suggesting ICE operations had extended to local resorts. Community members have shared videos showing federal agents present at various maritime facilities, including the St. Thomas St. John badge. However, federal authorities have not released details about the number of status of individuals reportedly detained. That is it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for your daily news updates at Tweet4Media and Tweet4BVI on Instagram and X, formerly Twitter, as well as Facebook. In addition, follow us on our WhatsApp channel for daily updates. I'm Ron Grant. Do have a safe and enjoyable evening. A happy Tuesday's wish to each and every one of you. Goodbye.